So sometimes working with you stresses me out because there's never a plan.
So what happens when things go wrong?
What do you? I can tell
What
you what
happens when
happens.
you?
I get
What
anxious.
happens? You get anxious.
Yeah.
Computer back and the screen disappeared. Hang on. I was just trying to make it so I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's recording whenever you're ready.
It is recording?
Yeah, I hit record before you said
Is this thing on? Oh, so you didn't have that chance to get nervous?
No. I mean, I'm nervous always. But
okay.
I'm more relaxed today. I'm in my own safe environment.
Vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. My living room. But anyway, you can start whenever you're ready.
What are we starting at?
Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Cue the Mic.
Let's stand in.
Episode
20. That was weird. I'm so
Episode 20.
sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
15 more than I thought we'd make it.
Honestly, I agree. We've officially
19
done
more
this
than you
the whole
thought
summer.
we'd make it. Wow.
That's also
crazy.
true. Mm-hmm.
We'll have plenty of time. We might go to 2 a week during the wintertime. I mean, shit, we're going to have all kinds of time.
We might have time, but will we have topics?
Yeah. Topics are always a problem, but we've got
some good ones coming up.
We've got some good ones coming up. We did a little brainstorming. I mean, we've been just crazy. I've been in town all week long. Yes, that's right. 5 days in a row at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
5 days in a row.
Yeah, but we're recording this on the day I normally edit it, which is Friday. In the middle of the day.
That's okay. You can still edit it.
Oh yeah, I'll get it out. It's just normally I have the whole day.
Normally you try and blame I got a whole day to edit when you can get it done in 2 hours.
I mean,
that's what you're trying to tell me.
I'm gonna work late tonight, just for you.
Is anybody if anybody's watching this on YouTube, you see me in my professional garb, and you see Emma in her pajamas sitting on her couch.
I'm not in pajamas.
Oh.
These are my...
sitting with her plant in the background, which probably... She's got this setup. Looks really good, though, but...
I have a podcast setup.
It's like Martha Stewart.
Yeah, this is...
without going to jail.
In my living room. Yeah.
in her living room.
I'm in my living room. It's my coffee corner. I have 2 chairs sitting.
Coffee corner.
Yeah. That's where I sit and drink my coffee.
It's time for
on the
reflection.
Weekends. Yeah. I wonder what I'm doing with my life. Whole shebang.
Yeah, Emma and I, we had restaurant-wise, we've been kind of, it's a little on the slow side, which it always is slow.
Mm-hmm.
During, you got to get the state fair over with, which state fairs actually didn't used to be busy for us, but now it is. Mm-hmm. And once state fair's over, it's kids back to school time. And when kids go back to school, that means mom and dad have no money because they have to buy shoes and school supplies and all kinds of stuff. So we hit a little lull in our business for about 3 or 4 weeks. And we always welcome that lull a little bit in the business, so it allows us to kind of work on things.
Mm-hmm.
We can never, you can never spend too much time working on the business rather than in the business. And that's what I do most of the time, is trying to work on it. So I've been working a lot of, I was playing around with breakfast catering menus. I was too cheap. I didn't want to buy, I needed to make breakfast burritos, and I didn't want to use our homemade Italian sausage because to me, Italian sausage doesn't go with a breakfast burrito.
Mm-mm.
But for months now, I've been trying to come up with this pork sausage recipe, like a sage pork sausage recipe. And I just haven't really spent enough time. I made a couple swoops at it, and one had way too much salt, one had way too much garlic. And so I kind of sat down yesterday and played around a lot more and come up with one that is kind of middle of the road. I still want to tweak it, but it's going to be good enough to go to make breakfast burritos and egg bakes and all kinds of stuff, just trying to help build our catering business and, find a different avenue thing. In the meantime, holiday meals are right around the corner. So
they're coming up fast.
Which is always I looked yesterday, I was talking to David, our new director of operations, and he was, he's like, well, what's it like at Thanksgiving? And I said, well, let me pull up the catering software. And the day before Thanksgiving, we did 365 orders. And he looked at me like, you're kidding. And I'm like, nope. Just enjoy the slow time while it's here, because it will not be slow. Yeah. We'll be pumping out food just as fast as we could pump it out. So, and the market's always throwing curveballs. Turkeys are always a pain. You can't get the size you want. We can't get the price we want, and it's just it is a big headache. But we've been doing it so many years, and we've been on that family dinner table so many years that it's like we just have to continue to do it and figure out a way to do it and find more efficient ways to do it and keep the cost down. But we may have to start limiting some stuff. We're so used to cooking 200 and some turkeys at Thanksgiving, and it gets to be a lot because we refuse to cook them way ahead of time. We cook everything the day before. And so it's just night and day going crazy just to make it as fresh as possible for the customer. So it's getting to the point that we don't have enough smoker space to get all the turkeys done, along with all the brisket and pork and sausage and turkey and chicken and because the restaurant's really busy then too.
Yeah. Because no one wants to cook and have leftovers before Thanksgiving. So they're going out. Families are in town.
So that, and then soup season right around the corner.
Soup season.
Trying to figure out what to do
season.
There. You are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, soups are tough.
Chili fall.
Soups are tough. Yeah, it is. Football season. Football season is back upon us.
Yeah.
Sherry, we were sitting there having a conversation last night, which we very rarely do, talking about business and just different stuff. We just don't get time to really sit down. We get the, every day we'll run something by each other, whatever. But last night we actually had about an hour and a half of good quality business time, just talking about just everything from A to Z business wise, nothing good, nothing bad, just talking business. And it was kind of crazy. It just kind of puts you behind of, oh shit, I got to do this. Oh shit, I got to do this. And
I had that moment this morning because of football season. Cyhawk games next weekend.
I know, but we got done with that, and she's sitting around looking at me like, well, 7:00, 7:30, what am I going to do now? And I'm like, football's on. She loves football. I hate football. I don't hate it. I just don't enjoy it as much as she enjoys it. Yeah. So, well, I can turn on the TV because I'm not a big fan of having the TV on in our house. So, yeah, you turn on. So she turned on the Nebraska-Minnesota game, which was, I don't even know how it ended up, but it was horrible to watch. I know for about a quarter and a half that we watched, or she watched it. I didn't. I was working on something else, but just trying to get some contest stuff done. So,
contest stuff.
But
yeah, anyway, I was just thinking about that. So we got to start marketing for the Cyhawk game. Which will be next week or the weekend by the time this comes out. And I don't have any plans yet. I don't know. That's what this weekend will be.
She's talking about Iowa State, which Iowa State is, I'm not sure. We're going to see what shows up. Sometimes
I'm going to go watch it live.
Sometimes adversity prevails. Yeah. We've had a lot of sports betting issues. So I thought about walking into Cyclone Stadium, which, they're huge catering customers of ours. But I thought about going to the game with a shirt that says, "You betcha, Iowa State."
Oh, God. I'm
definitely betting the under.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's rough. It'll be interesting. But, yeah, I got to start thinking about what we're going to do for that, because that'll be a big try to get customers in. or to carry out.
Well, yeah, it just depends. I mean, that's a lot of. It's hard to get customers in the door for that game because everybody has Iowa State parties. So it's more about what do we put together for packages that are tailgate packages they can pick up or something they can pick up to go home. And, I mean.
Yeah. Really push the nachos and the wings.
Nachos.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Football food.
Football food.
Yeah.
So what else? Time. What other weekend plans?
I'm actually going to the Iowa State game tomorrow. I'm going to support UNI. Go Panthers. I will forever root against Iowa State as a Hawks fan. But whole family's going to watch UNI play tomorrow. My sister's boyfriend is a lineman. So we're going to go support him. And then it's also my dog's birthday. So my dog and my best friend's birthday tomorrow.
Does the dog get to go?
No, she unfortunately does not. It will be too hot. And they won't allow her in the stadium, even though I think they should. So she's going to be home just chilling. But I bought her a bunch of new toys that'll keep her hopefully very preoccupied. But I am scared for what I'm going to come home to because they're all like plushy toys. And my dog likes to tear them apart. Limb from limb. And I'll just come home it'll look like Christmas in my house.
You remember when your dog used to chew on your trim?
Yeah, she stopped doing that.
She did.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can on the camera. It's right over here in this corner.
No,
but
can't see it.
Yeah, she was a trim chewer. Trim and wall. She loves drywall. I didn't say she was smart.
You want to take your dog to the football game?
I mean, I want to take my dog everywhere. Wish. Yeah, I'd take my dog everywhere. I'd take my dog to work if you'd let me.
Yeah, we had a conversation, Emma and I, yesterday. We usually, our only time we get to talk is 5 minutes before this podcast.
Yeah, nowadays.
Usually. I mean, we do once in a while, but we never really get to sit down and have a conversation. And we were having this in-depth conversation trying to figure out content for the podcast. And it's funny. So, and this is true, Emma. So we're going through, and we were probably talking, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. I don't know.
It was an hour, and almost an hour and a half. It was a long time.
So all of a sudden we get done talking and Emma looks at her watch going, "Oh, I was supposed to clock out 20 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was going to go home.
What? And I'm like,
I had come in early.
Your age bracket is such clock watchers. And it led us to this whole conversation. I said, we need to take this to the podcast about, because it's important from different ways, but just
age
talking
gaps.
About the age gap. And I know we tried to talk about it earlier. I called it a gender gap in one of our earlier episodes. But,
the first one.
But it's an age gap because for me as a business owner, it's important to understand, and I always tell people this story. I said, I study my 25 to 30-year-olds. I study them. Right? I try to understand.
It's a little creepy,
because well, they're really the future of the business, right?
Right. No, yeah.
So I have to understand, and as frustrated and I'm over, you don't get frustrated anymore, right? You just take it as, hey, here they think of life differently.
Yeah.
Than I think of life. And they have different, and right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They portray, if to me, if my grandfather would look at this right now and listen to this, he'd go and he'd look on the video and go, "What the hell is she doing working from home?"
Yeah.
Or, "What? They're lazy." Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because that would be the perception of that generation, right?
Which, which is, I think, a misconception. I don't.
And I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. It's a different way of going about business. I mean, it's like working hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when I came out of college and I was in my 20s, I was 65 hours a week. I only got paid for 40.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I was working 65 hours a week. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah.
That helped me climb the corporate ladder. Okay, so when I was 27 years old, I was the youngest vice president in the Ruan system. Okay, the next vice president was 55, 60 years old. So it helped me climb the corporate ladder fast. Yeah. Because I knew no limits. Now, did my family suffer? Yeah, Sherry pretty much raised Haley. I was on the road a lot and things. But in overall, I mean, it turned out really well. But so I was asking Emma a little bit about, the American dream, because I feel like I'm the American dream. I feel like I'm living the American dream.
Yeah. And when you were saying that, you made a comment that I think really opened my eyes to the situation. Because you said, I think the American dream is dead. In which I responded with, no, I just think it's different. Because, like you said, you think you're living the American dream, but you could talk to anybody in their 20s and 30s that's doing, social media, for instance, for a job, and they tell you they're living the American dream. And it's just one of those things of where it's adapted over time, but I think that's harder for some people to understand.
Right, because it used to be, I mean, and I'll say my part first is living the American dream to me was working as much as you could to accumulate as much wealth as you could to acquiring assets, right? So it was all about, hey, I've got a home, I got a bigger home, hey, I got a car, I got a newer car, I got a barbecue trailer, I got multiple barbecue trailers and whatever. So much to the point that, okay, now I have a 4,000 square foot garage with no place to put anything. And there's no way that I could cook on every barbecue pit that I have at the same. I mean, I could cook on one once a week and I'd still never cook on all of them in a long time. Or my Weber grill collection that I rent a storage area just to put and it didn't start that way, but now I have this storage area that it's full of antique Weber grills that I'm like, they were cool. What are you going to do with those? I love to cook on antique Weber grills, but I have one antique that I cook on that's never, ever going to go bad. So now, I mean, we're actually starting to kind of get rid of some of that stuff. I actually got rid of 2 smokers this week. And just because you're tripping over it and you're moving it, and anytime you want to move around, whatever, so, but that was the American dream. The American dream was to be able to have enough money in the bank to retire and do whatever I wanted to do, right? There was no limits about what I wanted to do. And then I look at, then we go to Emma, and I'm like, what's the American dream to you?
And mine is have the abilities to, what I think it is, have the abilities to live my life now when I can thoroughly enjoy it and experience more than work my life away. And I still work, 40 hours a week, sometimes more.
She actually works more. She works more than that. We don't tell her about that because if you if you send Emma a message at 8:00 on a Saturday night and she's at a concert, she probably responds to it. Doesn't really have to, but she does do that. Right?
I just naturally do. Yeah.
I mean, I don't send her a message saying do this unless it's a contest thing or whatever. I try and with all employees, if you're off, I'm going to do everything I can to solve it by myself because you're off. Yeah. There's got to be a separation between work and home.
Yeah.
And that's very important to me.
Yeah. Which I think is huge. And I think something that a lot of people struggled with, especially when when COVID hit, when everyone went remote, that was really hard for people to understand because they kind of took that concept of where, well, you're at home all the time, so you might as well just work all the time if you can. But which I think is why I'm so quick to respond to everybody. It's there. I might as well just take care of it. But what I think the American dream is I still work my hours. I make money. I still put in money. I still have a 401k that I put in so much of my paycheck to. But I also spend my money on experiences and living my life. We've talked about I'm going to Italy in October. I have concerts or baseball games or something every weekend for literally up until then, almost. And I don't regret any of that because I'm at an age where I'm going to enjoy it more now and actually want to do it and have the abilities to do it. I don't have any super crazy big responsibilities tying me down. And it's easier for me to, go live those moments than if I was in my 60s and 70s.
Right.
My grandparents retired and, well, my grandpa, he's been retired. He's so bored that he just goes and he's working at, where is he working? Arnold Motors, just driving for them to take their parts to different shops because he's like, I can't sit around. I'm too bored because now he's too old to go do stuff. And it's just a lot harder for him. So I just want to, I think the American dream for me is, having the ability to enjoy the life I was given in a weird, cheesy way. But that's essentially what it is make the memories now.
Right. And I agree. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things that it's like, I live with the mentality that I live every day like it's my last. If I die tomorrow, hey, been a good run, right?
Exactly.
You can go back and play this at my funeral and say, hey, that was a good run, right? No regrets. Yeah. Do whatever I want,
right.
thing. I mean, but from an ownership standpoint, it's kind of like you. I mean, I still people like you're on vacation. I'm never on vacation. I own a business, but that's okay. Because no matter where I'm at, I can be in the British Virgin Islands on a 40-foot boat fishing. And if I've got a chance to check my email every 10 minutes, I'm going to check it. And that's just second nature to me. I mean, and I think it's second nature to you too. Not for everybody. I mean, we do have some situations that if somebody's gone for 3 days, they're not touching anything because you don't pay me to be there. Well, if you're running a business and you're in the service sector like we are, somehow you got to cover that. So I think that's where the conflict maybe comes in to say, if I say, Emma, what's your ultimate? She's going to say, I want to work from that chair or the coffee shop, right? I want to be home with my dog. I want to go to the coffee shop. I'm going to put in my hours, and it's not necessarily an 8 to 5 job. Because she'd probably say, some nights I want to work till midnight and some days I want to sleep in till 11.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I get, yes. Most people my age. I'm not quite wired like that, but yes. I'm more of a get up, get it done kind of person. But
you may say, hey, if I could get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work and work till noon.
Yeah.
Then you would take that over.
Exactly.
Now, I let Emma work. She negotiated 1 day a week from home, which was that's the first time I've ever let anybody do that.
I was coming from a fully remote job.
Right. And so that's why I purposely record podcasts on Friday, so I know she has to work, that she's not playing with her dog in the backyard. Because I think that's from a business owner.
My dog's sleeping. She doesn't even care.
That's the business owner part of it is, you can see, but that doesn't make you any less or more productive, right?
Right.
You would probably argue you're more productive.
I think I'm more productive at home because people will say you have more distractions, but honestly, I have less. I don't feel the need to go over to the OC and just be like, hey guys, what are you doing? And talk to them about whatever's going on over there. I just lock in, get my stuff done, and then when it's done, it's done.
Right.
So
Yeah. And that's a big transition. You got some things that, you know what, in the restaurant, there's certain things that you don't have a choice. People are going to eat food, and you have to have people there to serve them food. There's peripheral stuff. And I sometimes wonder, we're talking about catering. Catering, we got 2 girls crammed in this office, and they're sitting there, answering phones and whatever. And very rarely do we get anybody that walks in the door wanting to book a catering. It's they're calling on the phone, they're emailing, whatever, and they get so distracted, whatever. I'm like, okay, maybe they should just be catering from home. But it's, because we have the internet phone system, we have the internet, so they could do it whenever. They're going to book every catering. My answer, my thing is never say no. Nobody in the kitchen is going to come to them and say, hey, quit booking caterings because we're too busy. That ain't going to happen, because we won't even give them their phone number, right?
Right.
But it has a few challenges, but I think from a business owner, it's kind of letting go of, okay, what if they are screwing off today, right? How do I know whether they're screwing off today or not?
You would know. But would you know if you were if I was in the office?
If you were sitting in your office at work? No. Because it was funny when I used to work for Ruan years ago, John Ruan, the original John Ruan, the guy that built the company. It was a deal. You had to work every Saturday from 8 to noon. That was just part of, if you were a salaried employee, you worked every Saturday from 8 to noon. And every Saturday, when I worked out in the field at the terminal, my phone would ring at about 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just with some stupid ass question, because they were checking to make sure I was there. Right. And then old man Ruan, he used to walk by everybody in the corporate office, because I was in the corporate office. He'd walk by all the manager's office, stroll around in the morning, and this is early on, but he would either flip me a 50-cent piece, or he would flip me a bag of microwave popcorn. Okay. Now the bag of microwave popcorn, he thought, because he grew up in the Depression, the bag of microwave popcorn to John Ruan was iconic to him. It was just, it was like the newest thing, even though it had been out for 20 years, nobody told him that. But he had this microwave popcorn, and he probably had a vendor give it to him for free, but he'd come by and he'd thank us for working. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here today. Even though on the backside, the manager was going, you got to be here. You got to be here. But when you were here, he'd walk back, and he'd always have something. He'd always come by, see him every Saturday. And it was just weird. That was just, and today the world is just so different than that.
Right.
It's just so different.
It is so different. Because that's kind of how it was at my last job, but not quite that intense. I didn't have to work on Saturdays. But and just kind of that same vibe of where they were like kind of watching over you, but it was to make sure you were there. But also, that's such an interesting thing to me, because the Saturday one, I guess, but like, I don't know, what else would I be doing? Especially everybody else is working. So it's just like, if you're working, I'm working. We're just,
Yeah, I think it's a trust thing. I really think it's a trust thing, because, you see all this stuff where people were working from home. And during COVID, it was real easy to go out. And why is everybody out and about at 10:30 in the morning? And some people went to extremes. They had to be logged into their computers. So they had little things, mechanical things touching their screen to keep it active and things like that, and it's like, and like catering, I was thinking this about catering. It's like, if you send people out to do catering at home, that's fine. We could do that very, very easily. We could do that.
Yeah.
But once the catering phone gets full of 2 calls, or they don't answer, does it come to my cell phone? And then I'll know. Right. And like, hey, who's not answering this phone? Why are you not answering this phone? because the ultimate goal is you got to have a customer wants you to answer the phone. That's how you grow the catering business.
Oh yeah. Right.
So it's the structure of how do you get it so the customer gets a live person. I mean, I hate auto attendants. We have one, but otherwise you're either going to have an auto attendant or you're going to have a receptionist sitting there answering every phone call. Oh, you want to place an order carry out? Here, let me transfer you. Oh, you want to do this?
No, yeah. And I think it's good to that extent. Yeah, just to help direct the call. The auto one makes sense to me. But after that, yeah, you have to have a real person. You just have to.
Right.
Because I never feel none of my questions ever get answered when it's just a robot.
And so that's the struggle. And part of the work from home thing is, I mean, there's nothing that pisses me off more than calling into a customer service desk and it's somebody from home and there's kids screaming in the background or there's a dog barking. I mean, it's 75% of all the calls that go, working from home. Hey, shut up in the background, but and it's just like, to me, the most rude thing ever. It's like if your dog was barking in the background right now.
Oh, yeah.
It would just be driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Right? Or if your phone was, we had a guy walking this morning, trying to have a conversation, his phone dinging, 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 dinging. I'm like,
Silence
shut off the fucking dinger, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your dinger. Right? And so it makes you think of,
what a weird sentence.
I mean, it's just like...
It is, I think at some point, though, like, people that leave their ringer on like that, they just want to look important. But they're not,
Yeah, but let me tell you, when it's 5:45 in the morning...
Yeah, they might be important.
There's no. If your dinger's going off, it's nobody work-related.
Yeah. That's true.
Because there's only 4 people.
Yeah, there's only... Exactly. But no, I agree with that. It has to be pretty quiet. And that's when I do get a little nervous sometimes when I do end up having to record from home. Because I'm like, well, I don't know what mood my dog's going to be in. She went to the river last night, though, so she hasn't moved. I keep checking her to make sure I see her stomach move, to make sure there's breathing. So there's breathing. There's a pulse.
You're worried about your dog breathing?
Always. That's why she has a camera. Proof of life. There for a while, she reacted to that.
So you're saying if I let you work from home, can I put a camera on your desk to get proof of work?
No. I mean, just the way that's worded is weird. No, you can...
You see the trust issue. Yeah. You see the trust issue.
I don't... Mine is, I don't trust my dog. It's because I'm anxious.
And for as many people, because maybe you're not at work, but anybody at work has a camera on them all day long. I never look at those cameras unless I have a slip, a fall, or whatever. No, you don't have a camera, but everybody else, they know.
Yeah.
But it's second nature because it's there in case somebody gets hurt. It's there in case something happens. It's there
it's there for their safety. There. Yeah.
Right.
Essentially, but yeah, and I don't have a problem with those. I think when you say I'm going to put a camera on you in your own home, that's where that got weird.
Oh, it did. I was joking. I wouldn't do that. But
I get the concept.
But really,
but
the concept of how do I know you're working?
And I think that's why at my last job, I had a meeting almost every hour.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to call you into a meeting.
Exactly.
I am the anti-meeting guy.
I know. So, I'm not saying that would solve our problems, nor do I want to do that. But I'm saying that I think that a lot of people that, work from home, that is what their schedules kind of look like. So that.
Right, just meeting after meeting. And that's corporate America, and I live that world. No way. I mean, I never have really a meeting I mean, if I'm having a meeting, it's going to be a one-on-one conversation, and it's not going to be scheduled. It's going to be what's on my mind, just like everything else, right? I mean,
just like this
we're
going
to talk about just my.
This is a meeting,
just
guys.
Like this is a meeting. This is our only scheduled meeting, and it's not really scheduled because I just tell Emma, hey, 20 minutes, we're going to go live. Right?
Yeah,
and that could have been at 10 this morning, could have been at 3 this afternoon. And she would have been sitting there in her chair all day going, wonder what he's going to call.
Yeah.
As I drink my coffee with my shawl on. I know,
This is a cardigan.
I was going to beat you to it. I was going to send you a message going, okay, I know you're going to ask. And then before I even got it, I got busy working on some sauce pricing. And then I looked over and there's Emma. What time do you think we're going to record today? Because Emma wants a schedule and Darren never has a schedule. Right?
That's why I think our dynamic is so interesting too. You wouldn't think that it'd be that. You think that I would be the one that's like very go with the flow, like whenever, wherever, whatever. But that's all you. I'm very much like, dude, I need to have a plan. I got the rest of the month scheduled out for myself. Like I have to have, and every detail has to be figured out. So sometimes working with you stresses me out because there's never a plan.
So what happens when things go wrong?
I can tell you what happens
when you
get anxious.
You get anxious.
Yeah. I can tell you exactly what happens, but you don't like it when I talk about that. But because you think it's dumb.
Well, I don't think it's dumb.
Well,
but
not
I mean,
dumb,
it's just it's a different world because my schedule for my world starts when I walk in the back door every morning. Yeah. And figure out what's broke, right? That's where my schedule goes around. And guess what? When I don't walk in for a morning, then nothing's ever broke when I'm gone. Right? So I'm getting up, I'm reading the manager log saying, hey, what's here, what needs fixed, or I'm walking into the catering, the meat guys in the morning saying, hey, that looks, like this morning I'm walking. I just love the smell of barbecue in the morning. I hardly ever eat it, but man, it's so good. They were taking briskets out this morning, and I'm like, oh, it was just, and they look so good. I'm like, man, I want to have a brisket sandwich for lunch, but I'm not probably going to be there because Emma's going to make me do a podcast, and I wouldn't have money anyway. But
I don't make you do anything.
So
I just really push.
So kind of back around is okay. I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
Help me understand. How I conduct business with an age group that wants to have a very flexible schedule, that wants to work remotely, which is almost impossible. You can't do that. In some stuff you can, but in the professional stuff, I would call, you can do that. But when it comes to kitchen and whatever, you're not going to. I suppose I could have somebody chop vegetables and deliver them for me, or I could just buy chopped vegetables.
Yeah, but then just eliminate somebody's job. That would,
which I'm not about that. I'm all about adding more people, not eliminating people. But so how does that I think there's a conflict there. I think it's How do you make that work? How do you?
I think it's really hard for the business that we're in, like in the restaurant business, to kind of do that, because what you need, in my opinion, is people like you, but younger, the ones that just really enjoy food and like want to be there and, enjoy that part, or like the creative part of the industry, and they're just not as common anymore, especially since a lot of people can just kind of make their own name or make a name for themselves in the comfort of their homes, doing creative things like that, like building meals, because of social media, So I think that's a hard one. That's a hard one to kind of, I guess, work around. I don't know. Because, like you said, you're not going to you're not going to have somebody like deliver food from their home, you know? You're not going to. So, I don't know, but the flexible schedules is also, you know, just as hard because we have certain hours. We're only open from A to B. So it's like, how do you, or is it different shifts? Is it shorter shifts?
But if everybody was so if everybody was trained, do these hours from 11 to 1 and 5 to 7, which are really do they pay more for those hours and you pay less for hours in the afternoon? So you're attracting people to work the busy stuff? You know, I mean, I think there's a place that if you could find somebody in your, and I don't mean to say your age group, but if I found somebody in your age group that says, and we do this a little bit at the chicken restaurant, that, you know, somebody comes to work at 11 o'clock till 1, and then they go home and then they come back and work 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay. From a restaurant owner, that's a really good deal in some capacity. Right, because you save that labor that you're got somebody on the payroll that if you don't have enough work for them, then they're not going to be very productive during those times, and that's where drama comes in, and that's where, you know, everything else goes wrong.
Right.
But if they were just able to walk in and say, "Boom, I'm going to knock it out for 2 hours and knock it out," you could work 4 hours a day.
Yeah. But I think it goes back to you made this comment yesterday about how my age group wants to be paid the same, if not more, but work less. Which I do think is a situation. I wouldn't say everybody's like that, but it is a common, you know, thing.
Yeah, the comment was you want to work 30 hours a week and get paid for 40.
Yeah. So I think but you also don't. But from a business standpoint, I think you can't necessarily do that because would you be losing, you know, at the end of the day? So it's just one of those, it's a very fine line. And I don't know if the answer is trial and error or if it's just keep on keeping on and see. Hopefully the answers will become more clear. I don't know.
Because that's of course me. I'm trying to be ahead of the curve, right? And I'm so from a business owner standpoint, what I'm trying to, if you written on my gravestone will be, he always was trying to solve a problem before it was a problem. Right?
Yeah.
That's me. Even if it drives me crazy because like I'll go to breakfast at my friend's restaurant Monday through Friday or whatever, and I'll see inefficiencies.
Yeah.
And I just want to fix them.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah,
I can suggest, and then once in a while I'm like, okay, settle back.
Yeah, you're just wired differently.
When I see the inefficiencies in a system, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's any process, I just have this urge to fix it.
Have you always been that way, or was that something that was like kind of put into your brain when you worked at Ruan?
I think it was put into my brain. I think it was the whole quality, you know, a couple episodes ago we talked about the quality management and whatever. And I think that was it. I don't really remember that early on.
You're wired differently.
It's bad.
It's insane.
I have to tell myself, quit trying to make it better. Quit trying to make it better. Quit trying to make it better.
I don't think you necessarily have to quit trying to make it better, but I think you have to understand that people, like, I don't really want to boost your ego, but like you're like actually ahead of the game. Like with our catering services and stuff and like our online stuff and you're like, well, we need this specific system is what I need. And like, I don't know why it's not created. I'm like, probably because that's like 5 years away. No one is thinking like that because we just started doing online ordering. Like we just got there.
Yeah, but to me, I mean, I was thinking about this on the way home here. So I saw an Amazon truck, right? I saw multiple Amazon trucks because I actually live by the Amazon facility.
Yeah.
So I probably see, if I were to sit in my driveway, I would see 50 Amazon trucks every hour, vans, delivery drivers. And I know from those delivery drivers, because you don't necessarily have to work for Amazon, very few of them do, They work for third-party companies, logistics providers. So Amazon is nothing more than a technology company, right? So they have route optimization tools that when you place an order, they know exactly when they can get that order to you. Now, and some days it's that same day, some days it's the next day, some days it's in 2 days, some whatever. It just depends because they have that data on how long it's going to take to get that stuff there.
Right.
So I want to do the same thing with food. Right? So I think from a younger generation, if I said, Emma, I can deliver food to you within a half-hour window every day of the week or 2 days a week, but I want you to place that order 2 days in advance. Would you do it? Rather than the impulse, because the problem with like the DoorDashers of the world, the problem is the capacity of drivers. There's very little planning because it's instantaneous, even though and maybe it's not 2 days in advance, maybe it's an hour in advance.
Okay, that would make more sense.
So, but if I could,
I'm an impulsive person.
Oh, me too. I'm still all day long. I sit about and think about what can I create for dinner.
Ooh, we're a different kind of impulsive. But like mine is like if I think of I want this, I'll order it in that moment, and I'll expect it within the half an hour or whatever when if I were to DoorDash or whatnot, or I'd go get it in that moment, So I don't know to answer your question. I don't know if I would use it because I don't think that far ahead about like my meals because I think that far ahead about everything else. But not what I'm gonna eat.
It's just to me, the world is inefficient, right?
Yes.
So why did the Amazon guy and the UPS guy and the FedEx guy all hit my house within 10 minutes? Why didn't they just ship it all through to me and unload all my shit? Right? Because we have an inefficient system, which causes a lot of waste, so if we were just efficient, right? And a way to mix that. And I feel the same way with food.
Okay.
Everybody has inefficiencies. I could create a catering company. I've talked about creating a catering company that said, hey, XYZ Catering featuring Smoky D's Barbecue, featuring Mullet's Breakfast, featuring whoever has the best poke bowl, whoever has the best Chinese, whoever has the best Mexican. And I bring that group of restaurants together that make the good stuff, that have the ability to make the food, but don't have the delivery driver, whatever. And then I just have a fleet of delivery drivers and I optimize. So in that same truck might be Mexican food and barbecue and whatever. And I optimize that route and go to a customer saying, hey, you only got one place to call or place an online order, which is my frustration today. But
right. So you essentially want to recreate DoorDash, but
if I could recreate DoorDash in a catering atmosphere, with people that were
reliable.
Anybody can sign up for DoorDash, right?
Yeah, reliable employees and actually
reliable employees that are presentable, that are professional, whatever. And so I think we're starting to see some of that, but
right.
I am a logistics guy, so I think I could solve the logistics problem.
Right.
And I'm a restaurant guy, so I think I could solve the food problem. It's the damn technology that just kills me every time.
Sorry. I don't know how to code to that extent. My bad.
Well, I can't give them the code. I had a thing with
I'm not a programmer.
Our catering software, and they do an amazing job on the back end, but the front end we don't have a way for a customer to online enter. So we go to another third party so that we can download an order,
which isn't very good.
And then we can manually enter it into our system, so it looks like shit for the customer. And then when it gets to us, then we make all kinds of mistakes entering it. So we don't put the right date. So then all of a sudden it's like, hey, customer walks in, hey, where's my order? What do you mean, where's your order? It's not till tomorrow. No, I ordered it for today. And you look back, put the wrong date in, it's just prone to mistakes. And I'm like, just get a front end where if it's a mistake, if I order something from Amazon, you ever got something wrong? I never have. I've ordered the wrong thing before without looking at the details.
Yeah.
But it's never wrong. So if they can deliver me a package and I can order it online at the tip of my fingers any time of the day, why can't I do that for catering? Maybe we're going to have to create the Amazon catering division.
You might want to trademark that idea before somebody comes and swipes it.
Yeah. Because I think I could probably call Amazon and use their software.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to brand it Amazon Catering, but whatever.
I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to brand Amazon Catering.
Yeah.
But that's how you have to think. To me, that's the whole moral of the story, and that's why we talk about age gaps and whatever is understanding. If I don't understand your demographic, that's the future of my business. So I've got to, whether I agree, disagree, whether you're sipping coffee or what, I guess I'm sitting at home too. Guess I can't blame you, right?
Yeah.
It's the only peace and quiet I could find. I almost went to your office.
And quiet I like.
I almost went to your office and shot it. And it's like, hey, I'm coming to you from your office, but I didn't.
I have a nice setup in there, so I don't blame you.
But it's just understanding that and what are the challenges and what's the next step? Because if you can get in front of it, I look back at our incentive pay for showing up on time and not calling in sick. Used to be a huge problem. Huge problem. People calling in sick, lame, and lazy, whatever. Now, all of a sudden, you give people an incentive of $2 an hour if they're not more than 5 minutes late. And if they don't call in sick, guess what? 85% of the time, people show up for work on time.
I didn't even know that.
85% of the time. And so that was finding the solution to fix the problem. Right. In the meantime, the wages would have went up anyway.
Right.
So wages were rising. And I said, let's try and figure out how to get something for it. Mm-hmm. So we gave them an incentive in order. So now you show up, you make money. You don't show up, you can't be on time. You're not much value to me.
Right. That's pretty smart, actually. Where was that when I was working there?
What did you say?
You heard what I said. Relax.
Okay, good. I hope your mom heard that too.
My mom. She's behind an episode.
She's behind an episode?
Yeah, that's what she said yesterday.
Yeah.
We talked about her a lot in the last episode too, so she's in for quite a surprise.
Yeah.
Especially since if you watch it on YouTube, you can see the video.
You can see the video of what?
Of her trying to get her car figured out or whatever she was doing.
See, I'm going to have to watch these things I've never watched one on YouTube.
Well, it's just us sitting here doing this, so.
But don't you interject stuff in there?
Only sometimes. When we have stuff to put in. Today's won't. Maybe it'll have a picture of my dog and her birthday celebration.
Yeah.
I already took it this morning. She just moved to the couch. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. But yeah.
I'm guessing.
What? That is my child. And that's where the age gap is. I will not be having kids. Right. I'll be having dogs for life. But
how will we carry on
the legacy? That's what I have siblings for.
Oh, that's what you have. Blame it on the siblings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not carrying on the family name. That's all my brothers. Honestly, probably Josie too. Should probably keep her last name. But
okay, I think I've had enough. I think it's Friday. I think it's time to go to work.
Time to go to work? Some of us have been working for hours.
I've been there since 5. I was there from 5:30 yesterday morning until 5:30 last night.
Wow, look at you go.
I usually not a 12-hour a day type guy, but
a lot of stuff has to get done. 'Tis the season.
Tis the season. We're slow. It's time to work on it. Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, that was episode 20. Little age gap stuff. Like Darren says, hopefully you learned something. You probably didn't, but you got to see a little bit into an everyday conversation with Darren and I. So that's probably interesting-ish.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish. I don't know. Teach their own.
We sure ramble a lot.
Yeah, we do. So find us on social media: Instagram, Threads, Twitter, TikTok. That's what I was thinking of. At Cue the Mic Podcast or at Cue the Mic. Can't remember which ones are which. I'll probably put them somewhere. Or follow us on YouTube. We make these fun little videos of Darren and I just sitting and chatting. Sometimes they have stuff in them. That's at Cue the Mic, or that's Cue the Mic Podcast. Subscribe, like our videos, leave comments if you want. I'll read them. Darren sometimes does.
If anybody knows of a catering software that has a really kick-ass online ordering up front, but still has a back end that will show me all the data I need on the back end, I'm interested.
But also won't take a massive large of the pie, because that's a problem we have.
Won't take what?
About that part. A massive piece of the pie. They won't take a cut of it, like a huge cut of it.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That's the problem, because some people do have that. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll stop rambling. That was episode 20 of Cue the Mic.
I'm
out. We'll see you guys next week.
See you, bye.